The PhysLean project is about digitalizing physics into Lean, and one of the ways that we're structuring the project is around APIs, that is key data structures, which you build in definitions, theorems, and lemmas around. One of the ways that you can contribute to the project is by adding specifications for APIs, requirements for APIs, or adding different APIs that we can build. Let me explain. So on the PhysLean website, we have this API development tab, and if we go into that, you'll see that we have this graph. This graph shows the development of different APIs within PhysLean. Not all of these accurately correspond with what's in PhysLean because they're not the issues they're connected to aren't fully worked out, fully developed yet. But this shows you kind of the structure that we are aiming for. So we've got things like space and time, fluid, Higgs field, rigid body, etc., etc. To add to this graph, to add a node around a key data structure that you might see in physics, what you need to do is you need to come over to GitHub, and you need to come to issues, and you'll see there's a bunch of issues related to API in PhysLean, and this is because this is how we are organizing this part of the project. So you want to go to new issue, you want to go to API, and then let's say we're trying to build an API around rigid spheres. I spelled rigid wrong, but let's ignore that for now. So you can fill in all of these things. What is the key data structure? What are the needs of why do we need this API? What are the requirements of it? And so on and so forth. Or you can leave them blank for now. And then you come down to the last section, and you need to put another title called parent APIs. Oops. And then you can link it to those APIs that this specific API is going to depend on. So in this case, it might be something like, if I scroll down a bit, rigid body. There we go, rigid body. So I can connect that to the rigid body API, and this will link it in a graph. If you don't want to specify a completely new API, but you want to add a requirement to an existing API, maybe you think like time should have certain requirements that we don't currently have, or space should have certain requirements that we don't currently have, or like the rigid body, you could come over to the GitHub issue. You could write a comment saying, okay, I think that this API should have this requirement. And that's incredibly helpful because it helps us specify what we need to build when we're building this API. Maybe it's already in the project, and even if it is, it's still useful to specify in these issues.